Hey boys and girls out there in the firearms world, you get Black Powder Bill here from blackpowderbill.com. What we're going to do today is we're going to discuss a couple of muzzle loader nipples because there's all kinds of myths and misconceptions out there. Probably the biggest one is that you go out and you purchase a nipple for your muzzle loader and all of a sudden you put it on and it doesn't work right. The cap doesn't fit, this doesn't go on, that doesn't happen. One of the first things you have to do is you have to assess if the nipple's long enough, if it's too long, if it has a taper in here that's stopping the cap from going down all the way. And what I do is, it's going to get a little loud here, I'll chuck a nipple in my redneck lathe here, and I'll turn it on. All right. And then I take a file, and I'll run my file on it a little bit, and I'll put a kerf right here on this edge. When I run it around, I might get some wet dry sandpaper and hold it on with my fingers on the top. And I get it set up so that my nipple will slide on where it's supposed to be. Okay? Now this one's still sitting a little high because the bottom of the skirt stops right here. So what you have to tell yourself is when my hammer hits this, is it going to drive it down? I know you can't see it, it's hard to see like this, but life's tough, isn't it? Now another thing you can do is I got a gun in here a while back, and you can see the hole on this. Okay, how that's all beat down. Look at this. I mean, that ain't even drilled centered. I've got another one here that has several hundred shots through it. This actually has a little ledge on it, so when you push the cap down on it, it would click on. You get a nice big opening up here, and then you've got your bottom here, okay, where the flame comes out. A lot of times people will go to screw these into a drum and it'll only get down, say, to here. It'll stop. You'll have this gap above your drum, or above whatever your patent breech. You'll have a gap in there. People can't figure out what the gap is. Well, I'll tell you what the gap is. The gap is from you got a screw that goes inside here your drum. You'll go to put that down in there, nipple down in there, and that nipple, the bottom of the nipple, the threaded area, will be so long that it'll hit that screw and it won't let it go down all the way. So what you have to do is you either have to file the bottom of this off, bottom of your nipple off, or you come back here and you shorten your screw. I mean, come on, people, you only have this much room. Okay, and that's just a drum that's not been like reshaped or anything, you know, if you want to knock it down some and knock the edges down some. So, you know, when you're looking at it, you know, here's your hole, here's your opening right here. You got to be clear back in here to get that nipple to go down. If your nipple, and if you file your nipper down too much, if you trim it down too much and the cap is loose, all you have to do is pinch the cap. If you pinch the cap, it'll stay right where you want it to stay. All you do is just take it with your fingers, give the skirt a little pinch like that, and it'll hold it on for you. You know, it doesn't take a degree in rocket appliances to figure this out here. You've got different nipples. Here's one right here. It's a number 770. It says it's good for Hawken, Renegade, blah, 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 blah. See how short that is? On top of that, now here's what I want to show you here. This is a 1228 Seneca nipple for Seneca. See how short that is? Did they screw them up? I don't know. But we'll find out if I ever go to screw one in, because one's quarter 28, and this one's 1228. I mean, there's all kinds of nipples. You got a 6x75, that's for your Spanish guns. You can see the taper on that. I don't know if you can see it. Different thread, different base. So, you know, you got to watch what you're doing. Of course, you can always flip. Guys like to install a musket nipple or a hot shot nipple. I don't know if you can see this. There's little hole in here. Put the hot shot nipple on. Well, you need a hot shot nipple, you know. Or I'm going to put a musket nipple on mine because it doesn't fire right. Here's the problem. If you have a muzzle loader with a patent breech, or a drum like this, or the CVA drum that comes way out and it's threaded right into the breech plug, the reason it doesn't fire is it's not loaded, you didn't put powder in, or you've got crud buildup down in the bottom. It's not clean. And you guys that like to use a greasy lube and put grease all over everything and season or do whatever it is you do, Keep packing that grease down in there, and I'll tell you what right now, that powder's going to set up like cement, and it'll be hard. And you'll think you have it clean, and you'll look down there with a light, and you'll see this little shiny spot, and you go, oh, that's clean. Pull the breech plug sometime, if you can get the breech plug out of your gun. CVA, I wouldn't recommend taking a breech plug out unless you really know what you're doing, because you know you could just screw things up. It's long. They're like this long, and they go all the way across into the other side of the barrel, inside the breech. Like I said, you know, not everything's created equal. I don't know how many times the guy dropped the hammer on this thing and beat this one down to death, but that's how it is. And like I said, all you got to do is fire up your drill, get yourself a little piece of sandpaper, hit the trigger, and you can clean that bad boy right up. I put a little taper on mine because that's how I like it. And again, you know, it doesn't take a degree in rocket appliances to figure this stuff out. If your gun's not shooting, it's not loaded, or it's not clean. And that's about it. You do have the odd case where the little primer material will fall out of your cap, or it gets wet. But, you know, 9.9 times out of 10, your muzzle loader's not firing, it's not clean. It is Black Powder Bill from www.blackpowderbill.com. Out. Be safe.